I got some surprise guests on my show, y'all. Trump 1 and Trump 2. Are y'all ready? Okay, well then let's get into it. Let me go ahead and put y'all to the side. They'll be back a little bit later, y'all. But it says Trump senior advisor says Harris campaign is flaying around. Let's see what they talking about, y'all.
Basically, the 4 states that are most likely to determine this outcome are all within a point. And when we span this out to the Electoral College, what do we get? We get exactly this. Harris with that 276 electoral votes because she carries these Great Lake battleground states, right? But let's just say we flip Pennsylvania and the polls don't match the result exactly right. What happens? We flip Pennsylvania to red, and then we get Trump to 281 electoral votes, which is not really much of a long shot.
Yeah, so that is the puzzle board game that's going on everywhere right now. One state, it could be that close with 13 days left. So let's take the temperature of the Trump campaign this hour. We want to note that we invited both campaigns for a discussion back and forth between the two sides on the story. We hope that that will happen sometime before the election. And we're glad to have with us today Trump campaign senior advisor Tim Murtaugh joining me now. Tim, good to have you with us. We got a couple new polls. I know you guys are, grinding through these polls like we are. You've got your internals and what you're seeing out there. This is just, these came out at 2:30 this afternoon. So this shows Michigan, Harris ahead by 4, and Wisconsin, this shows them tied in Wisconsin. And we showed yesterday the Georgia new polling that showed +4 for Trump in Georgia. Your reaction to these polls, and what are you seeing?
Well, first, Martha, thank you very much for having me on. And I'm sorry that my counterpart, Ian Sams, couldn't be here. There must have been a sale on soy products at Whole Foods today or something. Talking about the polling, if you look at the Real Clear Politics polling average, it shows Donald Trump with a lead in all 7 of those battleground states that everyone's talking about. And the only polls that we really trust and rely on are the ones that we looked for ourselves, the ones that we pay for ourselves, because we don't pay for polls to get lied to. We want to know what's really happening. And we show ourselves in our own internal numbers that Donald Trump is leading all 7 battleground states. And we believe that the Harris campaign sees that, too. If you can tell by the way they're acting, they're flailing around. Donald Trump is closing on a positive message that he's going to fix the country's problems. And Kamala Harris is closing on a message that Donald Trump is bad. So I think you can see the 2 different directions that the campaigns are going. We feel very good about where we are.
Everybody is spending time, too, as well. What are your internal polling showing in Michigan?
Michigan is one of the 7 battleground states. In our internal polls, we released them not too long ago on a Friday. And Michigan is among those 7 battleground states where we show internally that Donald Trump has a lead. And it's because this election is always set up.
Yeah. How much in your poll?
By a couple of points.
Now, I do have to cut it off because I want to say this. If y'all have really been just paying attention to the rallies that's been going on and what they're actually saying, is not necessarily like pointing the finger at you or you did this. It's like we got to state the facts. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Kamala, vice president. All right. You running. But the thing is, you are in office now. Why does these things have to wait to day one when you, why does these things have to wait to day one when they can actually happen now? You're in there now. You get what I'm saying? Like, make that make sense. I just don't understand it, but you have to really just pay attention to the rallies and what they're saying. And it was funny because I had read a comment where somebody was just like, 2024, let us just, breathe a little. We don't need anybody in office. We, the American people, just need to breathe. But no, it is very important that y'all go out and do what y'all need to do because, and make sure y'all actually really paying attention to the rallies and paying attention to what each candidate is saying, okay? Because that's what's important when you go out to vote, all right?
A couple of points. And this election has always set up very well because people have lived through both administrations. They know what the economy was like under President Trump. It was great. The border was secure. The world was at peace. Under Kamala Harris, the economy is in shambles. Inflation is through the roof. The border has been effectively erased. And the world is in chaos. We just saw the previous report about North Korea sending soldiers to help train in Russia to enter the war in Ukraine. It really is.
Yeah. So let me ask you about this. This is David Plouffe, who is Harris's campaign senior advisor, talking about the undecided vote. I want to get your reaction to this.
This race has basically been 48, 48, 48, 47 in those states for some time. So when you say, okay, how are those undecided voters likely to break? Who's got an advantage on turnout in terms of, various turnout scenarios?
Right.
We like our position more than Trump.
I mean, it's hard to understand who's still undecided out there, Tim. But what would you say to Trump, to Pluff on that?
Well, I would say that that's just talk, and anybody can say that from any campaign, but I would look at tangible evidence of what's happening in what they call the blue wall states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. In those states, 3 Democrat Senate candidates, 2 of them incumbents, got Bob Casey in Pennsylvania, Alyssa Slotkin in Michigan, who's running for election for the first time in the Senate, and then Tammy Baldwin in Wisconsin. All 3 of them are running television ads right now in which they speak positively about how they've worked with President Trump.
We've showed those ads. So that is quite a remarkable. It tells you quite a bit. I only got a couple seconds here, but you're concerned about a few counties in North Carolina given the hurricane. Real quick, if you can, Tim.
Yeah, now North Carolina set some records in early voting the other day when it opened up, and that's very encouraging for President Trump. It's going well. But the 3 counties, Buncombe County, especially in the rural parts, this is where Asheville is, but in the rural part, Buncombe County, Henderson County, and Maxwell County, they need to do more to set up early voting sites. And if you're in North Carolina affected by the hurricane, hurricanerelief.gop is where you should go to find out how to vote if you've been affected by the hurricane. Buncombe, Henderson, and Mitchell counties need to do more to help people be able to vote. It's very important.
Very important.
We appreciate you coming on, and those people have been through a lot, and we hope that that they have access to voting as every American should across this country. Tim Murdoch, thank you. Good to see you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
All right, Fox News. Okay, y'all. So my final thoughts on this is y'all definitely have to get out to do what y'all need to do. It is that time again, and it is very important that we all get out there and vote. A lot of people are like, oh, mine may not count. And it really does. It really, really does. As y'all can see, it's like neck to neck. And make sure y'all can get out and go early if you can. Don't wait to the last minute. They have polls open now, so you can go out there and vote again. I'm going to go vote today. We have to do what we have to do, y'all. And we are part of that change. But we part of that change. So y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comment section. Again, I've been watching, although, I haven't really been uploading videos. I have been still active, very active in what is going on in this world. Okay. I've been watching a lot on both sides. And that has put me where I am today. When I walk into that poll, I know exactly who and what I'm voting for. Okay. So again, that is somewhere where you do have to, learn, just really get into the polling, really get into learning like who you voting for, what you voting for, what is it that you want. Make sure you keep in mind too what you have been experiencing these past few years. Just keep all that in mind and just, research, get more information on who you need to put in office, who you need to put here, who you need to put there, because they all play a major role in our lives. So you have to be smart about it. Get out, get up, first of all, get out and go do what needs to be done.